Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I am here with some old friends. So I'm here with the team from Horde. We go way back, me and the Horde team. So I was happy they got in touch and said, hey, we want to do an AMA, just update the community, kind of let everybody know what's going on, what the future has in store. And I said, I would love to do that. Nothing would make me happier than doing that. So we have the Horde team here. Good to see you, audience. I appreciate you guys. Again, I can only do what I do because you watch. So please hit the like button as we're getting going here. If you have questions, things you want to discuss, criticisms, jokes, whatever you guys want, just bring those up. I will star them and I will bring them up as we can into the conversation. Question of the day. Funny Toro actually sent me a list of questions, and I always forget to have it up and ready. But let's do question of the day. What's your favorite travel location? That's it's cliche, but I'm just gonna do that one because nothing else is coming to mind. Funny Turo says this would have been a good AMA for October 31st. You're right. Maybe we'll plan that for next year. We'll do a Halloween Horde AMA. So I'm going to just kind of turn the floor over to the Horde team and, facilitate as I can. But if you guys want to just, quick introduction of who you are. Again, some people have never heard of you, heard of anything. And then I'll kind of just turn the floor over to you here for a little bit.
Thank you very much, James. And hello, everyone. And yeah, we did actually have a Halloween Horde AMA as well. So you're the first one after that. But hello, everyone. I'm Tommy. I'm one of the original founders of Horde. I'm also sat here with one of our developers, Marino, and I'm also sat here with Jayden. Let me ask Jayden, where is your favorite travel location to answer the question?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, Asia. I really love Asian food, and I'm a food traveler. Like nothing. Nothing makes me happier than food. I can go to a travel destination and stay in the hotel room a whole weekend and just use Uber Eat and get all my all my desires satisfied in the same hotel room.
And there we go. And now there's me wishing I avoided that question. Anyway, so we are here tonight to come back to James, like you say, our old friend James. That you've really been a big part of the whole. Laser as well. Laser Pony's also on the stage here. Say hi, bro. Sorry, I nearly forgot about you.
Buddy, happy to be here, even though they forgot about me. But yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, sorry.
Last but not least, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true that we were saying about that you've been on this journey with us throughout the whole start. We've been around for a long time in the crypto space. I suppose we could claim that now because the space moves so quickly.
It's actually less than a month away that our Discord opened up 2 years ago now.
Yeah, which is actually nuts.
And wow. This means that we have been working actively on Horde for 2 years and 3 months now. So it's a long journey. It's been a while.
But who are we? So we are Horde, and we are now the only tokenized mining project in existence. We have a real life crypto mining facility that is generating real revenue. And this delivers participants a passive income, and each epoch, profits get distributed. To our ecosystem, with 25% of it going back into expansion. And our focus on scaling out and expanding the operation is what I think makes our project especially appealing to a lot of people, especially if, like many, you think that we're at the start of a huge bull run. We all know, this is a great time to get involved in that kind of space there. But there's quite a few topics to go over. As you say, James, not everyone would have heard us, would have known about us. But we really want to focus on a few key elements. So one being Revolt token, how that works, and why we feel the tokenization of a mining project is very important. and we hopefully give you an insight of converting the value that we capture in the Vault token and transferring that into the real world assets of crypto miners, and seeing how revenue is generated from that. And we'll go in further about the mining operation itself. Details of like the quantities of miners, specifications, site setups, locations, stuff like that. We've got a few little infographics that we have got James ready to show at a time, just to explain a bit more, a bit more of the dynamics of what's going on. We're going to talk about some of the DApp functions. We have a peer-to-peer dashboard. Obviously, we've got the mining vault, which has a vault manager. We'll give some details of a new dashboard being created. And maybe we'll touch on the future of Horde and where we're going. So lots to dig into. So I suppose we'll start with the Vault token itself, the mining vault. And this is really the core part of what we do. So we opened up the only tokenized mining vault in existence. Okay, so it's a big claim, but there's reasons why we do that. Because people simply come along and use the vault tokens, they stake it into the mining contract. Now that vault holder, that vault token holder, now receives the share of the mining profits, which are currently in stables. We're soon working on it to be available in the native tokens as well. And a few things I must highlight about the tokenomics first before I continue is the fact that, again, we've tried to approach this in a way that it makes it the best for the user, in the fact that there isn't any membership to participate in the vault. There isn't any like hidden costs like that. There isn't any setup fees to create or close a vault position. There's no lockup time or like set time frame you have like tokens inaccessible for. You just come and go as you please, and
you see your reward going up literally every millisecond.
Yeah,
but
instantly.
Yeah,
from the moment you stake.
Yeah, and people have asked if this is a gimmick, but it's not. It is the actual data that gets shown while your reward is getting distributed second by second. And so you get the excitement right away. There is no waiting period. It's put your tokens in, see your money come back.
And then being able to take out and having no lockup period is a big thing as well that people like. It's also worth mentioning we've never had any team allocation, so this also means there's nothing like vesting schedules, anything like that.
And that comes back to when we started, right? We never had any allocation directly to us. We always been the necessity for us to work is just as big as it is for the investor. I think I can say it that way, right? We're driven by the protocol. We haven't made our pension. We still have to grind every day, and we do it because we love it. It is our passion, and
as always with our approach, we do it what we want to see as an investor. How do we want to see this? What is attractive to us? What makes us want to put money into it because it's working? Like what drives that? And that's what I think we've created. We've created it in this tokenized mining vault that delivers a consistent, growing passive income to participants. It currently generates revenue solely from crypto mining. We took it a step further by tokenizing them fractional shares of rewards. And as of right now, we have over 400 miners. Not coming in months or years. They're up and running right now. And we mine Bitcoin and Cadena, every second. Obviously, they're real world assets. You have uptime and downtime, but we're keeping really nice high levels of efficiency now. And
that also means just to stay at the number 400. That also means for those who didn't catch that we actually, with the 25% getting reinvested of this profit, means that we have 100 miners, actually a little bit more, working solely to compound into more miners. They don't have any other job than to produce more miners for the community, and the miners they produce add value to the token. They're not getting new tokens. That means that the token price is imminent to go up as we expand, because that the token price is evaluated by the company, like not company because it's not a legal entity, but by the mining operation. What is it worth? That's the price of the token, basically fractionized.
Yeah, and by
Yeah,
that constant compounding too, your hash rate goes up for every token, right? If you think we have X amount of hash rate now for every token that's out there, as we add more and more miners and more tokens don't get minted with that, that means your portion of the pie gets bigger and bigger, and the pie is getting bigger. Your portion's not getting bigger necessarily. So it's a really, really big deal. Especially with the way the hash rate has been going up and up and up. You know, if this stayed static, your rewards would go down over time because the hash rate goes up, and we need more and more power to make it happen. So by having this compounding in there, it's a really big deal. Something we thought about a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been really hard to put a. Sorry, what's that, James?
No, I just said, oh, good. I was
Okay,
just
I think we
saying
just
words. Yes. We do have audience questions
okay,
though, when
okay.
you're ready for them, but I'll let you guys just keep going.
Okay, cool. But let me just finish on what Laser was saying here about it's been really difficult to present how important the focus on the compounding what we've got. And what's been the technical element to work out is how we compound this, how we keep expanding. And really the experience that the likes of myself and Jiden and Laser have all got in building out businesses and scaling this out, that really comes into a part where, you know, we really have been pushing that behind the scenes. This is like what a lot of our community doesn't see, is the business element of trying to expand that out and getting the best deals as well at all of the best time.
But if we have questions to what we have just talked about,
yeah, please go ahead.
We can take a couple now, so we don't have 100 questions
50 at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, from Joe, have they conducted an audit? And he's an audit giver, so that's why he's asking. But wanting to know about an audit, maybe on the new contracts, perhaps.
So there isn't really there isn't a necessity for an audit on this contract. It's just a profit splitter contract, basically. It's not a big complicated contract, but there isn't conducted one. Again, we have internal developers that have over 20 years in developing, so like we haven't had any problems we haven't could handle. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like, oh, we don't need an audit, because everybody could use one. But right now, it's not our priority to spend money on an audit on this simple contract. And again, we have weekly epochs, so there is never enough exposure so that we could get destroyed. Like, we don't have the risk of getting 1 million pulled out, or something like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose as well, I'll expand on that with regards to the actual contract of Vault token itself is pretty simple. What's complex is the moving parts behind it, and the mining rigs, and so I suppose it's a completely different concept. But I like that question come up, and it.
Yeah, it's not there now. Maybe it's coming there in the future. I still think we.
I suppose the question is the security and the safety of it, and what we've got is completely safe. But I suppose,
I can say it like this: all money that's not an epoch is just a period of time, like where we distribute reward. We have made it into time periods, and that's what we call an epoch. So when talking about an epoch, we refer to the time period rewards are distributed in, and right now that's weekly epochs. And so there, all the money are held in multi-sigs, and all members of the team are on the multi-sigs, and there needs 3 out of 5 signatures to move anything. And we move money into the epochs when it's necessary, so we don't have a big exposure where all the money could disappear at once.
Okay.
Not a
Nope.
liquidity
That's a good
pair
answer.
on the
And
backside.
yeah. And when you're ready for a audit, Joe is your guy. So he's a good guy. So
All right.
good question,
Good
Joe.
job.
And then I can answer this one. Do they mine altcoins and have GPU miners? So you guys are doing, you mentioned Bitcoin and Kadena. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Bitcoin
and
and
Kadena.
Kadena.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
there has
So
been
no-
talk, hasn't there, in the community about the GPU stuff, but that's not. Yeah, go ahead, Blake.
Okay. So
Yeah,
no
GPU mining.
GPU.
No GPU right now. Yeah, too intensive, too hands-on. Not gonna happen right now.
Okay. And then another question from Joe. What's their mitigation strategy once the bull market dies? So we're kind of in a bear market, potentially at the end, and then we're hopefully going to get to a bull market here before too long. And then a lot of us were kind of caught off guard by the bull market turning into a bear market. But what's your mitigation strategy to kind of take advantage during the bull market and be ready back for the next cycle?
At some point, we stop compounding and collecting instead. Like at some point during the bull market, miners become so expensive that it doesn't make sense to continue to buy them. That's where we start accumulating funds. And when we then hit a bear market, we are ready to spend that funds at new efficient miners. So that's how we're going to handle that. And to that question, I want to add, we bought our miners at the bottom of the bear market. We bought them right around 16,500. That was when we started building out this plan, which means that we already had the bear market in consideration sitting up. So we were efficient enough to survive the end of the bear market, if that makes sense. Like we already thought ahead of it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Can I just add one more thing there as well?
Yeah, please do.
Which links into something I was going to say more towards the end, but it's like the future of where we go. Obviously, the mining vault is the core of what we're doing right now. But we have multiple plans of opening different vaults in different sectors of what goes on in crypto. We've got one thing in the background that's being built, but again, we're not going to discuss that tonight. But it's something that again is a different sector, a different way that we can see for going beyond this bull. It's definitely something that we're always trying to keep on the edge of what's going on as well. As having different vaults allows us to do this. So there could be multiple products that we could offer way beyond this bull. But we're at the start of a bull market. Let's just remind ourselves of that bit. There's a lot of excitement in there as well of what could become just with the mining vault alone, right? And like Dan said, we've already discussed internally about scaling out. So needless to say, we do think ahead and we're trying to make sure that, there's solid plans in place way before is needed, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One sec here. Got more questions coming in. We might just keep, there might questions take up the rest of the time, but can you shed light on what portion of the mining profits need to be used to pay for utilities and the facilities?
Can we have that question again?
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, James. Sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sorry about that. Audience, am I cutting out for you guys? I hope
we can see it. We can see it in the comments. Okay. We can see it in the comments. Can you shed light on what portion of the mining profits need to be used to pay for utilities and facilities?
So that's about what we pay in hosting. I kind of read it as that, and we are not to discuss that. We have partnered with FM. We are not their customers, and we are under an NDA to make everybody able to conduct business as usual, and not because the deal we made is more than just customers. We have an agreement not to discuss this.
Okay, gotcha.
Out of respect for them.
Yeah. Nope, no problem. And if anybody else wants any more
I
clarification,
do have an add-on to it.
sure.
You can sort of backtrack it, right? Because we pay everything out in profit, and then you simply just look at our hash rate and our daily profit on the dApp, and you can do your own assessments.
Yeah, it is true.
Okay, good
And
observation.
Yeah, it is true. And
Okay,
community
and
members similar have actually been pretty accurate as well. But anyway, moving on.
yep. And Scotty has another question. Of the 400 miners mentioned, what's the split between KDA and BTC? Is there a strategy behind mining both?
Yeah, so
we
go ahead,
Oh.
Toad.
Yeah, so we currently have 40 KDA miners, KA3s, they're 166 terahash, and then the rest is all Bitcoin miners. Mostly S19s, 110, 120 terahash, and we have some about 70 Wets miners, 120 terahash. All the newest miners we just bought are all the new S19K, one of the more efficient models that just came out, which is pretty exciting. We got on the first batch of those. So
And a shitload of them.
Yes, quite a few of them. Yes.
Okay, very good. Let's see. Got a couple more, and then we'll let you guys get back to talking. Can any of our investments from 2 years ago be used in this?
Yeah,
So they were.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you were in this and you had plots and you had Horde tokens, there was a migration, and we made sure that anyone that had tokens, they could put them into the contract, and they got converted into vault tokens, or you were able to exit with the liquidity that was your allotment. So that was all done almost a year ago. So if you chose to stay in the ecosystem, you not only got the Horde tokens that were in your wallet, but anything that would have come from your plots in the future as well. So anything that was coming your way, you got them, and you could have chosen what to do with them at that time. And yeah, people were definitely the grand majority of people that are in the protocol now are people that have been with us for a long time.
Okay, very good. Yep, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Funny Turo wants to know, do you sell the mined tokens for the payout? So do you sell when you mine the Bitcoin or the Cadena? Do you sell that in order to make the payouts?
No.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
So
I read it as the actual vault token. It's not the mine tokens.
No, but
My apologies.
Yeah.
but yes, we do.
Currently, yes, we do sell them. Again, Tommy mentioned earlier that we are looking to implement so people can claim native tokens. So people could then claim Bitcoin or KDA. It's a little more complicated to be able to do that. But currently, yes, we sell them, and we do that either on a schedule or that is a little bit tricky, but we do the best we can to sell them to get the maximum profits at it, and then we hold it in staples when it goes to the payout contract.
Okay, very good. And I think you guys can keep on going. That was most of the questions. Audience, if you have more questions, just keep them coming. We'll ask them. If they're not snarky, if you have an actual question, I'll bring those up. But yeah, you guys can continue on. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we've talked about the layout of the site. We've got one site in America, one site in Canada, which gives us a nice diversity between the two sites as well. Also, if one site goes down, you've got the other one running up, etc., etc. There's a lot of bonuses there. We've also got up to 2 megawatts, so we've got a lot of space. We've got space for up to around about another 200 miners. So we've got a lot of growth to go. We're currently merging the ZNFT funds into the mining vault in order to increase gains for ZNFT holders, which are zombie NFTs, which when minted give you different rarity, and in this case will give you you can get a better payout for the equivalent of dollar value that it would be in the mining vault. So we're currently merging them funds, and with this 100% of the profits right now will be compounded in order to bring them profits even higher. And we have close to $100,000 in funds to compound into new miners.
Yeah, by the end of
this compound period, we project. Yeah,
and again, that's with the prices being as they are right now, right? Who
Yeah.
knows what happens in 3 months? If,
So
if Bitcoins
yeah,
go up, then we
exactly.
have more. If Bitcoin goes down, then
So
we
is
don't.
as it looks like we're going to really add another extra 40 miners just from that compounding effect alone, which shows you, the power of the compound in itself. And a really interesting point, actually, that I know a lot of our community brought to us was like they couldn't wrap their head around how when we add more tokens, how does it not dilute the rewards, for example? Well, it's really explained really well on these graphs that Laser quite gracefully helps us create. So if we could talk through these, Laser, do you mind taking over and talking through these? If we start off talking about the rewards per token, if you could bring that up on screen, please.
So kind, sir.
There's a rewards
time
per
to bring up the
token
screens.
image. And this really shows. Well, I'll let Laser take over.
Yeah, so this is a little graph kind of showing where we started when we first turned the first miners on and how many miners we had, and you can see kind of our growth over time, right? So at the beginning of this month, our Canada site was just getting online. We're still getting a couple kinks worked out, but if that comes online, we'll have over 400 miners. And some of this has come through token sales, some of this has come through compounding. So it's a variety of things that have pushed these numbers higher, but they're going to keep going higher. And the best part, as we've said a couple of times, as 25% of these funds just go towards compounding, there's an automatic, this number is going to go up 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 miners a month consistently with no new money coming into this. As long as Bitcoin is still going and we're able to make money, we're going to be adding more miners every month. And to talk about the dilution fear that some people have, Tommy was mentioning earlier, we deploy miners right away. So as we sell tokens, we deploy miners. As we sell tokens, we deploy miners. So there's not like this long, we're not going to take $50,000 and money for tokens and not buy miners with it. We need to have these things up and running. So since the rewards are distributed to the tokens that are held, we get miners up right away. So there's no real dilution of the token because we're always deploying all of that money goes towards new miners.
Yeah, that was really the complex problem that we feel we solved. When we sort of came into this and we started seeing, we've all seen an increase in sort of projects focused on this sort of aspect of mining and fractional like share of profit shares, etc. That expansion problem was always evident. So by having this strategy where we've got this space to go into, it's a really key part of how we're going to continue to grow and how we can convert the value that's captured in the Vault token into real world assets so quickly. Whereas what you can often see is you can see a delay or you can see a problem that things happen in them timeframes. We just get them straight up and running. Like we're doing it as fast and as efficiently as we can, whilst still knowing that we've got many eyes looking for the best deals for what we're doing, for bunches of miners. And as more miner suppliers understand that we're coming for more and more, we're going to build up better relationships with all our suppliers, be able to get even better deals and get more miners online. And it really is just exciting to me, the amount of how this can be a snowball effect. The fact that we do have over a quarter of all of our miners, which is over 100 miners solely dedicated to growth, to buying miners, and then you realize we're still months out from halvening and still many months out from what people consider the start of a real bull run. The potential, as you can see, is quite dramatic.
I want to add to this. I want to add that right now over 60% of our tokens are compounded. So it's actually not only 25%.
Yeah, you mean internally, the community themselves
compound
actually
60%. Yeah. And although that primarily benefits them who compounds because they obviously get the tokens, it is also compounding everybody else. So right now we are growing. We have a pretty exciting growth rate. That's to be fair. But there are 2 slides more. Laser
Yeah,
needs to explain.
maybe move on to the next slide you've got, please, James.
Okay, you said go to the next slide,
Yeah,
next picture.
please, if you can.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Number 2. This one
Yes.
good, or you want to go to the other one?
Yeah, that was perfect, James. So this is just to hit on kind of what they've been talking about. If you look at what the rewards are now, as we compound in for these next couple months, what's going to happen with rewards. So because we're going to take all the money that we're making with a portion of the miners, not 25%, but a much larger portion of that, and just buying miners every month for the next 3 months. So you'll see we're going to get a growth on what each token is going to produce. And so on the bottom, those are different amounts of tokens that someone would hold, right? So if you held 1,000 tokens, right now it might pay $55 a month. Well, in 3 months from now, it's going to pay 60, which might not seem like a lot, but that's a 10% increase in 3 months, and you're doing nothing. Like to get that, you do nothing other than put your tokens in the contract and wait. And so this just shows the power of the compounding that we're going to be doing. Yeah, we're pretty excited about it, and I think it's just going to keep this trend. If Bitcoin stays where it's doing, and we're able to keep doing what we're doing, this trend is just going to continue up.
Yeah, and what's really cool actually about this this graph here is that it actually shows the concept that we've been talking about, where the more tokens that get added actually benefits not only new but old investors as well, because the rewards then increase. And it's really capturing that in a special way that I certainly haven't seen before. None of us have seen. And it's why, again, it took a lot of time to go through, all the different scenarios of this and how it plays out, because there's so much stuff that happens in the crypto market, right? That we feel that we've looked at it from every angle, and it's just nice to see it now. The proof of concept coming true.
Also, we learn from our mistakes, right? And Lord knows that we know that compounding was a big factor of why everything went as it did. So we tried to actually make compounding into something that's beneficial instead, because there is an appetite for compounding. And so if compounding is the slightest damaging, you're gonna get destroyed by it at some point. And we thought we could avoid it, right? We didn't. And with this, we're not only avoiding it, we are making it beneficial.
And a lot of people want to get involved in crypto mining, but I would like to go into a bit more detail about this infograph, what we've got on the screen at the moment, and why these numbers are important. And this is because crypto mining itself is quite expensive. The cost of miners, cables, electrical equipment, racking systems, electrical supply price, like you're paying even more if it's domestic. Plus, it can be quite a technical challenge. So instead of buying your own miner and setting this all up to receive rewards, you can simply buy the Vault token and get your share of that distribution from a huge mining operation. I know that we went over some numbers. I don't know if you can remember that, Laser, about the numbers that we looked over. If we looked at even running one miner.
Yeah. So if you were to go out and buy a miner right now, you'd probably spend about $2,500 on a new S19, maybe a little bit more depending on shipping, taxes, all that. If you had a 15-cent electric rate, and depending where you are in the world or in the US, obviously that ranges all over the place. But if you had a 15-cent electric per kilowatt, you would probably lose about $70 a month mining Bitcoin right now. So you would you would buy the miner, and then every month, just in electricity, you would lose 70, not to mention internet, cooling costs. If anyone's ran an ASIC miner before, it's a big thing. And as Jaden is saying, repairs. If you took that same amount of money and put it into Vault token, you'd probably make about 45, because you probably get less than 1,000 tokens. This says 1,000 is 55. You would probably get about 850 tokens. That would net you about $45 a month at our current clip. So that delta is $125. just in taking it and putting it in Vault token or doing it yourself. And on top of that, when you do it in the Vault token, 25% of what you're making is also going compounding into more miners. Like you're actually increasing your hash rate over time by buying Vault token. And if you have a miner, you have one, and it's just going to, and they degrade, right? That's the thing. There's repairs, and you have no diversification. If you have one miner and you have a hash board go down on a 120 terahash unit, you now have 80 terahash, right? So there's a lot of things to think about, and by doing it the way that we've done it, it can be much better for people, especially on a small scale, because you don't even have to buy you can't buy half a miner. But here, if you want to come in and buy 10 vault tokens, you can buy 10 vault tokens. If you want to, it's from one or even a fraction of one up to however many we have for sale at once. We do have a cap on how many tokens we get online at once because we want to be able to get enough miners and get them into our space. We don't want to sell more tokens than we have room for miners, because then that would dilute our token. We're not looking to do that. But it's a huge advantage to be able to buy as little or as much as you want, to be able to get your foot in the door. I mean, you could buy one vault token a day if you wanted to, and that's something that makes this a little bit different. Some of the other fractional mining projects that are out there, or other NFT style projects, you can't buy a quarter of an NFT. You know, so
Okay.
our entry point for people is a lot more accessible.
Okay. Would you guys be okay? We have another spew of questions. Is that all right if I go through some of those?
Of course.
Okay. Just so we don't get, like you said, too backed up. Does the team have a target of total miners to have up and running before the true bull market hits?
I suppose it's
different answers from us on this.
Yeah. If you ask Jayden, he would say 1 million miners. If you ask me, I would say 10,000 miners. And if you got a true answer from Laser, he'd probably say, we really want to aim minimum between 500 and 1,000 in the short to mid-term, right?
But there is no end goal here.
Yeah, there isn't an end goal.
No. This is what I'm going to give to my son. My share as founder here is going to be delivered to my son, and he's going to continue it on with Laser's son and Tommy's kids, and Marino when he gets some, and Hans's. Like we are here permanently, and this is our life. There is no other thing for us, and we're gonna continue to grow it until somebody else needs to take over, because we can't anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a simple answer is that we've got 2 megawatts to fill up. That's the first goal. Yeah. We fill that up. We start expanding beyond that. So I don't think there's any need to set a number. We just want as many as we can, because we want to build our rewards pool so huge, built on real revenue that gets mined 24 hours a day from one of these incredible, activities we can do in this space, and everyone can get their share. And this all just comes down from a vault token, right? So yeah, the answer is inevitable, I suppose. Let's just leave it at
that. As many as we can.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. And that actually leads to the next one. How do you see Horde in 5 to 10 years? Is mining the main goal, or is it a means to an end? Is the DEX the main goal? If so, what can a Horde DEX offer you over other DEXs? So there's several questions there.
Yes, but it's impossible to answer. It's crypto, and what happens in 5 years, like.
But yeah. This is why it's called the mining vault, and this is why we're going to have the Horde vaults, because this is the goal, is to have everything that we can see creating real revenue. We can even touch on looking towards the future of bringing back the gaming development. For those that don't know, we've still got a play to earn game that we put on pause. It's like 80 to 90% complete. And if it's viable, and we think, I mean, I've seen a lot of increase in interest in Web3 gaming and stuff. Like, if we think this is a viable income, we do this. Like I say, I mentioned already that we've got another idea in the works already. With regards to the DEX, we've still got our ambitions of how we're going to apply that and how we're going to use the products that we make in that. So it's really, this is the beauty of this space, right? who knows where we're going to be in a few years, let alone 5 to 10 years. I mean, this space is 1 year is like 10 years in this space, isn't it? I know you agree, James.
Yeah, oh yeah. 1 year's like 100 years sometimes, I think. This is from Scotty as well. Many other mining projects went the NFT route to determine a person's piece of the pie. What made you go the token route?
Yeah, so I touched on that
I think
a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
go later.
that we really want to make it so people are able to get in with as much or as little as they want. And also with the NFTs, you're stuck with your NFT unless you can sell the whole thing as well. We also just juiced up our peer-to-peer sales platform for your tokens. So if you want to get rid of your tokens, you want out, you're able to divest those tokens, and someone else community will snap them up. So you're able to not only scale your position over time, little by little, right? So if you have one NFT and it costs $500, well, they could release tier 3 in 6 months. Now it might be $800, which is fine. I think it's a great model, but it's not accessible to everyone. With what we're doing, you can buy as little or as much as you want, and we really wanted people to be able to get in and out if they want to. This is more like staking. This is the thing that keeps coming to my mind. Like, you're buying your tokens and you're staking them in the vault. You can take them out when you want. You can get rid of them when you want. But that's why we went with this way instead of the NFT route.
Yeah, I would also like to add. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Later.
Tom. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say we definitely had this discussion many times internally, actually, about when we first approached it. Like, do we go the normal route of an NFT? We certainly understand now why people opt for the simpler option of making it an NFT. But there is importance, like we touched on, about being able to buy small fractional parts. But tokenizing it is really something that it allows us to have a token that also, can bring in. There can be other utilities in there. There can be other ways and methods that we can use that. And I'll leave it at that.
We looked at doing the NFT way as well. But the problem was the function we wanted the NFTs to have wasn't viable. So it wasn't possible to do this with NFTs. Yeah, it was, but then we wouldn't have got it our way. And as Laser expanded on right before, that was the main reasons, right? So that simply wasn't possible with an NFT.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That makes sense. That's a good answer. Yeah, this is a good question. I would appreciate this too. Any affiliate program for Horde?
Definitely not.
We do not affiliate with affiliate programs.
Okay. All right. Fine. No MLM structure for you or anything like that?
No Black Friday.
I really felt
sales,
like you
no
looked
nothing.
right at us, James, on that one.
That's probably a good answer, although I would like it. Is the vault token deployed on Ethereum or other EVM chains as well? Is it immutable or upgradable?
So it is upgradable, and it's not on multi-chain yet, but we do want to be able to buy them on multi-chain, but they're probably not gonna be tokens on all EDM chains. But the idea is, like you could with the set NFTs, you could buy them on many chains. The idea would be that the vault token is going to be just as accessible. It isn't right now. It's on Binance Smart Chain. And I just want to really quick say to those who say, oh no, CZ is resigning. Binance Smart Chains and Binance is not the same. So don't confuse it with Binance, because it's not the same. But we are on Binance Smart Chain, and you can buy it there and you can sell it there for now. And as I just said, I hope we're going to be able to sell it everywhere, and maybe also have it onto one other chain. So like you can move it between two chains. If you, for example, wanted to have it on Ethereum and Binance, then, maybe that's going to be possible at some point, but it's not for now.
Okay. Let's see. Brent, any rewards for long-term compounders? I'm just going to throw that question out there.
The fact that you heard the saying. Go on later.
So yes and no. So there's not a direct reward for people that compound for a long term. People are free to change their position at any time. And the DApp, there's literally a slider. How much do you want to compound? How much do you want to pay out? The one thing that I would say, yes, there is a long-term benefit, is that the price of the token will go up over time. It's locked to the value of our operation. So when these ZNFT funds come in and we add 145 miners, the price of token is going to go up. So as people are compounding, you're getting those tokens at the prices that they are before the price increases go in month to month, if that makes any sense. So if you're compounding 10 tokens in this month and they're at 265, well, next month they're at 285. You're getting them at that 265 price before those price increases go in. So it's like an indirect benefit. But no, we don't have a like, there's no diamond hands bonus in this protocol or anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but it definitely aligns with the saying that I'm sure we all heard of time in the markets beats timing the markets, because the sooner you get involved in our mining vault, like the
cheaper
growth,
you get in.
the cheaper you'll get in, because the growth is going to continue. And with over 100 miners clocking away, making more miners for us, I mean, this is we think this is going to go pretty aggressively.
I do have one benefit more for compounders. So an epoch is now weekly, which means that you're compounding 4 times a month now, and that do raise the APY a bit. We don't have the exact numbers because it's not like it goes from 30% to 120% or whatever, but it do have an impact because you're compounding those 4 times a month instead of just once a month.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Nope, that's a good answer. And the questions are piling up, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, guys. This is the right time to ask questions. That's why I do these live, right? Is to get these questions out. This might have been asked, but what is happening with the Z NFTs that were purchased? And this already happened, correct? But do you want to explain what happened with those?
Yeah, so we touched on that a little bit. We had it in a couple of different strategies since we launched the Z NFTs. None of them were really doing kind of what we hoped they would do. And so recently we took those funds and we're transitioning those over into the mining vault. So the ZNFT vault will still hold, it will be a separate thing. It will hold vault token and it will get paid out its portion of those rewards. So we have X amount of vault tokens staked right now. We will buy tokens with that ZNFT money. We will stake those, and that money will get distributed to those holders.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see.
And I do actually have a thing. The Z NFTs, there are going to come an updates soon as well on both the price and on the distribution structure of when you mint one. So for those who have been asking questions about that in our Discord, this is mainly to those people. You will soon get your fruition on your question about what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's stuff that we've been working out during this compound period as well.
Yes.
So all of that will be revealed, in the near future.
Yes.
Okay. And what price does Bitcoin need to drop to for the mining to no longer be profitable? And he's guessing 15K, but do you have a number for that?
So since we bind both Cadena and Bitcoin, that's a little bit harder to answer, right? Because there's 2 variables to it. There's also other variables like electric price and other things. So yes, 15K, we would still probably be profitable. Again, I'm pulling this off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure we would be. Depending on what Cadena did. Again, if there's a black swan event and Bitcoin goes down to $2,000, I don't think we would be profitable at that point. But even at 15K, depending on what Cadena did as well, I'm pretty sure that we would still be profitable. But to be honest, if it goes, we're not gonna shine up a turd, right? If Bitcoin goes down to 10K, it's gonna be real hard for this to be profitable if Cadena followed suit. But the nice part is we can turn the miners off.
Right.
We have least We
I
have leases.
completely agree with that answer, Laser. I know that this is calculations that we done at the start before we, committed to our plans, what we've laid out here and
It's
made.
not, but no, but that you can't, because to answer, give a straight answer, we would also have to have a fixed price on everything.
Yes,
We don't,
exactly.
so it's impossible to answer. But as Laser said, it's the closest we can get.
But it don't matter because we're in a bull run,
Yeah.
so it's all good.
Yeah, right. Well, and
Yeah.
I'll say too, this is kind of difficult to calculate because what happens when the price of Bitcoin goes down, it's all about power price, because when the price
Yeah.
of Bitcoin goes down, a lot of people turn off their miners, which makes the difficulty go way down, which
Correct.
can make it profitable even with the price down lower. So it kind of
Yeah,
becomes
it's a
an
balance.
electricity price.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to have like a set price. You just don't know who all's going to turn off their miners, and it's kind of like a case by case. But
Exactly.
Yeah, and is it after the halvening where a shit ton of models are going to be completely outdated and unprofitable? And yeah, it's impossible, right? But yeah,
These are the complexities behind the scenes that have cost us, many hours of just talking back and forth and realizing, wow, we have a list of things to do, and we ended up going off on these tangents of the complexities of like where that goes and all the variables involved. It's an impossible answer, but I really believe what we've created and what we have, we're definitely gonna outpace hash rate. We're definitely gonna be able to expand. We've looked at every plan. We've looked at every option, every feasible direction of Bitcoin. And as far as I can see, we're the proof. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. It's the data that's coming through now. It is showing that it's working. We're building out a new dashboard soon that will be showing a lot of different data points, like the amount of Bitcoin mined, the amount of miners, etc. We've got a few bits on the dashboard now, but an overview dashboard, which will give people much more insight of that concept working. And like I say, I'm proud to say that we're already got this working model. We're nowhere near the start of a big bull run. And who knows, like the potential of that, plus the fact that we've got Cadena as well. That's like our outlier. Which imagine if Cadena went to all-time high. I'm not saying it did, but I mean the amount of that we mine already, it keeps growing and growing as the market keeps moving up. So yeah, huge potential in.
I would love that. I have a whole bunch of Cadena, so I would be really happy if it went back up to all-time highs. I will say, if you do not believe in Bitcoin long term, then this might not be what you want to get into. Okay, don't get it if you don't believe in Bitcoin. Don't get into Bitcoin mining projects. Okay, so even if we do go down, let's say we get down to 10K or something like that. I believe that even if we hit 10K, I don't think we'll ever get below 20K. But what do I know? But I do believe no matter how low we go, we will come back up. So that's why I invest heavily in Bitcoin, invest heavily in Bitcoin miners. That's my take. So the same would be true with a project like this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good question. I think there's probably quite a few people that are in kind of this boat. I haven't checked on my Horde investment in 2 years, a long time. Do I still have the option to transfer my plot earnings to this new project?
no.
No, unfortunately, we ran a migration period. We then decided to extend that for another 6 months because we knew. I mean, when we first started Horde, it was already in a bear market. So let's just make that clear that everything was already going down. There was interest coming out of crypto already, and we appreciated a lot of people left crypto anyway. So then we extended it for another 6 months, and then unfortunately, we had to pull the plug at one point because we had to convert it into Vault token.
We had to
use
move
liquidity.
We had to move on at one point, yeah, and we dragged it as far as we could. We really waited as long as we could, but we also had a ton of investors sitting and waiting for us to do the next move. So it was a fine line on finding the, like, as Tommy said, we extended it 6 months to try and make it, and we made sure to tweet about it, to make announcements about it, so as many as possible could come and join, right? Because we didn't want anybody to be left behind. And luckily, I would say it's a very few people who have come back and said they hadn't had the time, and unfortunately, there isn't too much we can do now. It's yeah.
But if you do want to get
Nope, that makes
involved
sense.
anyway, we always run little giveaways in our community on tweets, keep an eye out for them. So even if people, you know, aren't sure and they just want to see what we're doing and how to use it, we quite often run little giveaways for like 10 tokens, etc., stuff like that. And it really is really simple. I mean, people come along and purchase Vault tokens. They can use the Vault Manager or the peer-to-peer dashboard where you can buy it from other users as well. And then you just stake the Vault tokens, and then instantly you start receiving the mining rewards, which again is very unique with how we've created this sort of take on it. But I just, like I say, it's just been amazing to see these real world assets being turned into a platform like we've got. And I always encourage everyone to go and check it out, you know.
Yep, absolutely. And I'll address this one. This is not real world utility. Utility would be when you have an outside revenue stream not related to crypto that's able to sustain the project. I mean, semantics. Like real world utility to me is there is something in the real world. It's not only on the blockchain. They have actual Bitcoin mining machines. So actually, I'm going to challenge you that this is BG. This is not correct because they have assets that are real world mechanical assets. So it is real world utility doing something. Now, you could say you want non-crypto real world utility. I think that's totally legit, totally fine. If you don't believe in crypto, you should not get into Horde in any way. Okay, they're a crypto project, crypto focused project. So some of it's just semantics, but
I'll tell you a funny actual insight about that was when we was looking at the mining miners themselves, and is that a real world asset? Like, we asked the question itself, like, can we actually call it a real world asset? And we said the same as you, James. You know, you've got real machines, you've got real hardware, you've got actual humans working on the machines, you've got electricians, you've got construction work going. If that's not a real world, I don't know what is, you know. So
yep.
Yeah, in addition to just the miners, there's also infrastructure. We own containers, we own leases on property. Like there is more going on than just, this isn't fairy dust, right? There are real things that went into making this happen. So there are real things out there in the world.
Yep, no problem. BG didn't mean to like come at you harshly or anything, but that's just my take.
We can take it.
Okay.
Gotcha. Any plans to sell the current mining hardware near the peak of the bull run and invest in new, better mining equipment for the next best market? And maybe you can expand too on what do you do when the current miners are getting older, or when you need to upgrade or anything like that.
Let's see.
So yeah, I think Jayden touched on this a little bit. Yeah, this is definitely something that we talk about a lot, right? We're still getting everything just off the ground over the last couple months and getting it expanded out. But for sure, as time goes on, as things would get, as miners would get more and more expensive, it would be prohibitive for us to keep buying more or compounding more. We would probably start selling what we could and stacking some money for when things became more advantageous for us to keep adding more miners. But again, those are things that if we all had a crystal ball and knew when the bull was starting and ending, we would all be very, very, very rich. So this is some of the stuff we had to kind of play by ear, but it's definitely something that we talk about internally, and even Jayden's touched on earlier in the AMA.
Yeah, and a lot of these things you have to kind of just take, day by day as things come. We don't know what new miners are going to come out. We don't know. Like Bitmain came out with a new Cadena miner that made all the gold shell miners kind of worthless. So you just don't know what's going to happen. So yeah. Let's see. Any campaign to sell the remaining Z NFTs?
I touched on
again.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Laser.
Yep. Again, Jayden talked about it a little bit. We're putting some stuff together. It's been an internal conversation for a while about how we can get the rest of those sold and have it in a way that's really attractive and useful to people, right? For us to go out there and try to get a money grab that's not what we're about. We want this to be really beneficial to people when they go out and buy those. So we will be doing something very soon having to do with the pricing and the distribution of funds. But we're not quite ready yet to let that out of the bag.
Yeah, I
Hey.
think we've already said a lot more than we planned to say already tonight. Anyway, so it's okay.
That's I pull it out of people.
we always do it for you, James. That's fine.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe we'll close with, well, I'll let you guys kind of talk about anything else you want. This is the last question that I have. Is this a registered company with reporting obligations, tax, etc., etc.?
No. Right, that's the
Okay.
simple answer to that question. We have
maybe that's maybe
Right.
that's not a question to talk about here live. Maybe get in the Discord and DM them, and they will discuss that more, perhaps. So, okay, I think that's all the
But
questions we
I
have.
will say we do have ownership, full ownership legally of the miners. We do have, there has been a lot of legal paperwork in the background with regards to leasing, property, etc. So it's a lot more complex than would appear to a lot of people. So yeah, hence the difficulty in the questioning of that answer.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm gonna turn it back over to you guys. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Any final words? Because before we kind of wrap up here.
I think Laser have one more
The
picture,
graph.
graph to show.
Yeah, we can show that
again, I
one,
don't want
and
to
then
take
I'll just wrap up.
too much time. Oh yeah, it doesn't look so good on this one, but basically this is just showing again what's going to be happening with our rewards after we do this next big push and as we get these other miners online. If we looked at what some of these last cycles have been compared to projecting, if we had the same amount of miners running, it's almost an 80% increase in our rewards pool, just in getting these new miners online. One of the things to keep in mind we didn't really touch on is the efficiency of our operations getting more and more efficient as we add more miners. As we said earlier, we have 2 megawatts worth of power. We're not running 2 megawatts. So there are some upfront costs we pay to build out that infrastructure. But as we move forward, each miner is more and more efficient to the operation because the cost to get each miner online goes down, if that makes any sense. Because we're not paying setup costs for all these new miners. We're not having to buy more electrical, transformers, cabling, containers. We already have it. We just need to put the miner on the shelf. So as we go forward and we put more and more miners online, we become more and more efficient. And if you look at, actually, I think one of these numbers is wrong now I'm looking at it. Oh, no, it's not. And you look at the auto compound on the end, or $14,000 to $15,000 a month. It's just going to go into, it's just going to go straight into buying more miners, which is huge. That alone is 6, 7 miners depending on the price that we can get them at. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
and then
very
you add
cool.
the
I love that.
60% community compound on top of that. So that adds up to close to 20 miners a month.
And then you suddenly realize that's without any new token sales.
Yeah.
That's just revenue that we're generating from mining crypto, with the upswing of what's going to happen in the markets, with potential of new token sales on top of that. I mean, it's just like I hope we've shown you the sort of potential of what we've created, and as time goes on, the data that we'll be providing will prove this concept more and more. So yeah, exciting times ahead for the Horde and all the community.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the stuff is shown on the DApp. Just so you guys know, we haven't talked about it much, and I know we're running late. On the DApp, it shows our current petahash in just about real time. The daily rewards update every day. How much reward is paid out per individual token is put out there per day in real time. None of this information is hidden. It's all out there. If you're curious, go on the DApp, connect your MetaMask. Don't know how, get our Discord. People would love to walk you through it. We have how-tos. There's definitely ways to get involved, and all the data is out there. We're not hiding anything on that.
Okay, very good. We'll close with this question, and then I want to ask you about calls to action, because I'm a marketing guy, and I always like to give people, don't just watch a video, but you got to do something after the video. So last question here, what happened to the game? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we touched on it briefly earlier. This is something, just a branch of what we our first vision was incorporated, and the game potentially, let's call that another vault in the waiting. We're 80 to 90% finished on this, but our main focus right now is creating that real revenue from crypto mining. We need to get that 100%. Like we're nearly there with that. So
yeah, I want to add on the game, even though Tommy tell we 80-90%. That's true, but I guarantee you the last 10 to 20% is going to be those who cost the most and those who takes the longest time. And on top of that, you can put, let's say, a couple of 100,000 at least towards marketing to get it anywhere near where it's going to be profitable. So ending this game and making it finish and getting it on the market is a legendary product for us for sure, and it's something we want to do, but it's not something we're going to do before we know that we have the income sources that can sustain getting it all the way through. Because yes, we are nearly there, so it would be terrible to get there and not be able to do the marketing. So we need
we still so much.
We need to know that we can get it all the way. Like, we want to see it all the way. When you scroll through X, our game should be there every second post, but we wouldn't be able to do that now, even if the game was finished.
Yeah, and I know that the discussions we've had with the community over and over again about our main focus should be on what we're doing right now. And as I say, the data is showing that our focus has been in the right place because it's working. The compound effects, what we've enabled in the tokenomics, are working. Growth is happening, and it's just nice that it is a legacy product in the background that we can come back to. And as I mentioned, Web3 gaming is getting a big interest again, and it's definitely something that it's another page what we can turn one day.
Okay, very good. So let's close with, if people watch this, they're like, wow, I love that team. They seem like great guys. And they want to get involved in what you're doing. What's the best way for people to get involved in the project right now?
Really simple. Go to horde.games, connect your MetaMask, just click open dApp, connect your MetaMask wallet. I know it's the most common wallet to be used. And in the dApp, you will see the Vault Manager. You'll see the peer-to-peer dashboard. So you can just literally buy the Vault tokens. You can go to the Vault Manager.
Yeah, you do that under Manager. You were right. You just open the dApp and then you press on Manager, and there you can see you can buy the tokens.
So 3 simple steps, really. You just buy the Vault tokens, whether that be through the Manager or the peer-to-peer.
Yeah, there are no cheap tokens on peer-to-peer, I just want to say. So you should buy them on the Manager because that's what benefits you and the ecosystem.
And then you can stake them in the mining vault. So once you're connected, all the options come up. But as already mentioned in our Discord, people really helpful. Our main community is in the Discord. We can speak you through that. There's how-to guides there. But it's really simple. You buy the tokens, you stake them, and instantly you get your share of mining rewards. And
when you look here, you don't see the Canada side because those miners are mining on another pool so that it doesn't confuse people. Because when people come here, they see the numbers there. That's the number that's get calculated into the profit, right? So on top of that, there are 145 miners mining in Canada, and that's another 20 petahash. So that's basically that reward times 2, like what you see times 2.
Okay.
Very cool. Of course, without the Cadena miners taking in consideration, only looking at the Bitcoin.
Yeah, with how much you're mining, what would I need to pay you for you to turn off your Cadena miners so that mine will make more money?
Well,
see how much we make a day. You can see how much we make a day there, James. So you make us an offer we can't refuse.
Okay. All right. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch on that. All right. Well, hey, this has been fun. Always, honestly, I feel like you guys are friends. Really appreciate you guys. Audience, you guys are amazing. Thank you for always showing up. And if you have more questions, go hop in the community. Get to know the community. And the replay of this will be available right when I hop off, so you can watch it in all its glory. Once it's over, too, you guys might not know this. You can watch it in 2 times speed. So you can go through it a little faster if your attention span is too low. But thank you, audience. You guys are amazing. And Horde team, thank you guys for coming on and talking through stuff. And love to have you back just as there's more updates for the community and things like that. Would love to have you back. But thanks for building. Appreciate it.
James, one
Thanks so much.
last question.
Okay.
Do you think you can actually follow what Tommy is saying in double tempo flow?
He had to say it.
Can I follow Tommy? What?
What he's saying when you turn it up to double tempo.
Oh, that's a good point. I'll probably have to turn on captions.
1.5.
Perhaps.
1.5. Thanks a lot, James. Thanks a lot, everyone, for turning up, and really appreciate the time.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care.
you guys so much. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.